5 months ago, I've never even heard of this sport. Today, I'm playing professionally at the US Open Tour, March 20th this month. My name is Marc'Anthony, and this is how I got to be a professional pickleball player in 5 months. It actually all started when I was in the fires of California.
Here in Altadena, 1 year after the Eaton and Palisades fires,
it is like driving through hell itself.
hurricane-force winds.
It was like being in like a zombie apocalypse movie is what I felt like.
The wind here is unbelievable. It sounds like a freight train is coming through.
38,000 acres burned.
Imagine everything that you've loved. You know, like that nice bakery around the corner. You know, the Korean spot was dope, right? It wasn't that people only lost their homes. You know, it was the small businesses there. The dope Korean spot, you know, that place was fire, you know. And then it didn't stop.
Tonight, after the most tragic trial by fire Southern California has ever faced, now a new threat.
It was the mudslides.
Nothing as apocalyptic as this. Mudslides, but...
After mudslides and floods were no match for the torrential rain.
Literally, days after.
Chaos erupts here in LA County. Widespread immigration raids triggering protests from Paramount to downtown. President Trump has ordered 2,000 National Guard members to counter that violence, and that angered Governor.
Sparking more clashes between law enforcement and...
We see that burned out car in the middle of the intersection here.
I don't know if you understand what it feels like losing everything in a fire and then having a mudslide. And then on top of that, having the anti-raids with the vandalisms with Trump. I remember they were blocking off M Street, you know.
Sending another skirmish line to the south. You're going to have these two separate kind of hot spots, these literal hot spots burning. This one on Main and Alameda.
The way I was even able to leave was like an angel. I got a random, when I say random text, I had a random text from my cousin saying, do you need to evacuate? I called my mom because he said, get in contact with your mom, and thank God she was able to get me out of here, And then moving here, I left with nothing, You're talking about Job in the Bible. I am Job I'm Job in real life. I'm Job. Do you understand? I am Job, And I don't know. Going through that was insane. Imagine losing everything and then you can't even recover it because of the mudslides. And then the last signal for me to leave was the fire. That was my signal to leave, because of the dumpster fire in the middle of M Street, And then going to a place I've never been before now, that you see me in right now. When you're talking about starting over, this is what you mean by losing everything. That's why I said this is Job. I'm living Job, from the Bible. It's crazy because all I was going through at that moment was, let me let me work out. Let me find a gym, which, bless it, the place where we live has it like a gym inside of it, you know, in like the community. And I was like, all right, cool. Let me go to the gym. Let me work out. And one thing that, you know, stood out to me was these people playing on the tennis court, but they weren't playing tennis. I was like, what are they doing? What is that? It looks, what is this? What's this thing over here? It doesn't look cool. What is this, right? And one day I just opened the gate, because we had the big gates, and they were like, hey, you want to play? I was like, what are we playing? This is not hopscotch. I don't know what this is. Apparently you have a paddle in your hand, and there was like pickleball. I was like, what in God's heaven? Right? What is pickleball, and why are you playing? This looks like ping pong. They're like, it's exactly like ping pong, you know? And the cool thing was to understand what created me to be a pro in 5 months. It's the most bizarre thing, right? Like, as an audience, you gotta understand, I didn't choose pickleball. I didn't come into pickleball. Remember, I just went through fires, mudslides, the raids, and everything like that. I need to process everything, yeah? And they're over here telling me playing pickleball, and if you get 10-0'd, you get pickled. I'm like, no homo, don't do that, right? I don't know what pickleball is. I really believe one of the things, and I'll get into it deeper later on, that I really believe pickleball chose me. Now, the reason why, you gotta ask pickleball why. But I really believe pickleball chose me because, to give you guys a background, I actually was a multi-sport athlete, collegiately. Like I've played with the Red Shirts, you know, in camp with University of Maryland. You know, I'm an international Kung Fu champion, 1st place, 2nd place, 3rd place. Like, I played professional, semi-pro athlete for the MMA, going to the UFC, played AAU, like every sport you can name, I've played it except for pickleball. I've never heard of it. And, you know, for me, I really believe, you know, this has to be something just simply fun. Let me do this for fun, right? Don't let me go at it like everything else. And not to obscure you to where I'm getting at, what my context is. Like I said, I was processing everything, and I was like, I just need something fun. I just need fun, right? And that was kind of my idea, right? Was like, let me just do this for fun. If I'm not being excited about this thing, if I'm not being fun with this thing, you know, I'm just not gonna do it. I lost everything. I need to have fun with something. I need to, you know, not necessarily get away from everything, or, you know, it's the crazy thing is, apparently pickleball can be played by 90-year-olds, and I was just getting my butt whooped by people in geriatric, you know? I was getting beat by the old timers. When I said beat, I was getting my butt whooped. Do you understand an athlete like me coming in and you're just getting beat by grandmas? Like, how does that work? First of all, right? I didn't come in this swing and be like, I'm a G. I'm a thrash some people. Yo, listen, fires, mud, slide, raids, getting beat by grandmas. Yo, it's insane, right? Up until the point to, I don't know, it was strange what was happening. That things started to click. And I know the reason why, because I'm going to get into, you know, the 5 steps, what actually created me to be a pro, right? Literally in 5 months, right? And things started to click. Here's the cool thing about acting on excitement and acting on your you know, just having fun. I know you guys may not know who this is, you know, but Ben Johns, if you guys don't know who he is, he's basically the Michael Jordan of the NBA. He started training me. Colin Johns. Hello, Collins. How you doing, bruv?
Marc'Anthony.
Hey, how you doing, bruv?
Cleopatra, or?
Yo, bruv. All right, which is his brother. You can imagine him like the Scottie Pippen of the NBA. Started training me. Deco Bar. I mean, he's the Tim Duncan of the world. You know what I mean? He started training me. Just to let you know, pickleball paddles are $300, $500 a pop. I got sponsored by 3 different paddles by people, you know, around me. People were giving me the balls, the pickle balls to play with, right? And something was happening, which I feel like that equated to me getting better, right? Following that excitement, something was clicking. It was such a cool thing to experience because it's like I was becoming a different person. And you gotta be a different person playing pickleball. If you want to understand what pickleball is, it's ping pong and tennis put together, literally. And you have to play it with finesse. It's soft power, right? It is Tai Chi with a paddle, right? That's what that is. And you know, I'm telling you this to simply tell you what happened with me and how I got here, you know, and how I'm playing in tournaments now, and how people invested into me, you know. That I'm not saying this is an inspirational talk. I'm not saying this is an inspirational thing for you. You know, I'm just merely telling you what physically happened to me, what I went through on this journey, and how I made it out. You know, 5 months ago, I didn't even know of this sport. Now I'm a professional athlete playing at the US Open Tour this March 20th. Like, do you understand what I mean? 5 months ago, I didn't even know of this sport. Now I'm playing. I'm a professional athlete. I'm pro. Like, I'm in the NBA. I'm in the NFL of this thing, right? I'm in the NHL. I'm in this. Bro, that's insane. And that's why I believe the sport picked me. I just merely like to make a video, just explain to you guys that, hey, I'm here to go on with the 5 things that I seen for me that what got me to be a pro. I would say number 1 for sure, you gotta follow your excitement. Because if you don't follow your excitement, the opportunities you would normally have would not be there. Things wouldn't flow to you easy because you're not following your excitement. 1.5 too. You gotta have fun. If you don't have fun, I promise you're gonna get burnt out and burnt. Because remember, you're around people, human beings. There's always gonna be politics involved in anything you do. Or at least at the end of the day, if it's not politics, you're dealing with behaviors, you're dealing with, or you don't have to deal with them, right? But you're around behaviors, you're around people that have attitudes, or not attitudes, and you're playing with different people with different things that are happening in and around their lives. That's why you gotta have fun, because if you don't have fun, you're not aware of all of that. If you're not following your excitement, you're not aware of all of that, and you may lose the chance for somebody to sponsor you. Because I promise you, the people that sponsored me, the beginning, if I came in with, he's a this, or F him, forget, they wouldn't sponsor me. These are the same people. And I'm telling you, if you met these people in life, if you didn't have fun, right, you would be like, maybe, why can't they, right? And you would never get anywhere. You would never advance. You would never grow to where you need to grow. Oh, that's what I would say. Number one is like you just gotta have excitement. You gotta follow excitement. You gotta have fun, right? Number two, to becoming a pro in 5 months, you gotta take the good and leave the bad. What do I mean by that? Especially in a sport you've never played. Let's say you've never played whatever sport you want to get to. You want to be like to become a pro. I mean, you gotta absorb whatever the good information is and just leave out what's not useful, period. You can drive for 20 years and still be a bad driver. You know what I mean? And that's what Bruce Lee says, right? Take all the good parts of the thing that you're doing. That's what he did with Jeet Kune Do. He took all the good parts of different martial arts. It was like, that doesn't work. That looks sus. Pause. You know what I mean? I was like, all right, oh cool, now I got this thing, let me do this, cool. All right, number three is literally understand this. Perfect practice makes perfect. And it goes back to the same thing of take what's good and leave what's bad. The things that you do well, that's the perfect practice. And then when you find the thing that works, that's the practice. It's not about bad habits or anything like that. That's too mundane. If you like to be a pro, like play at a pro level, your practice has to be perfect. That means you have to understand and recognize, you have to have great discernment of, hey, this is a good practice, right? You have great structure, you have great form, great posture, everything like that. The basics, right? You're perfecting the basics, that's the perfect practice. Number four, be the best, study the best, right? It's not the only fact that Ben Johns himself is training me. Bro, I watched him like a hawk. Do you understand what I'm saying? He's the best. And it's not dissing anybody else, right? Understand this. To be the best, study the best, right? I didn't watch anybody else. I didn't watch the number 2 guy because I'm not training to be the number 2. I'm training to be the number 1. That means I'm only going to watch the number 1 because the number 1 is not going to make the mistakes or anything. So that means all you're watching is the good. You're never watching the bad. And that's a whole nother thing for a whole nother video. Drop it in the comments if you continue that. But do you understand? Like, I'm only watching the best. Do you understand what I mean? To be the best, study the best. And I'm only watching his. The only reason I'm watching the number 2 in pickleball because there's literally gender doubles and mixed doubles, right? So here's the cool thing with the mixed doubles. Ben Johns played with Annalie Waters. She's the best female on the planet. Oh, cool. So that means I get to watch her. And here's the cool thing. I'm watching her too. She's the best female on the planet. I'm gonna watch her, right? And here's the cool thing. This is the cool thing why I believe why I was able to advance in pickleball, because many of the things that Ben, the way he chats, what he talks about, what works for him, how he studies the game, and he's like intuitive, is actually how I play. You know, and the flow, the same flow that we have in the same methodical things the way we do, in a way he picks up other people, which is cool, right? I mean, today's day and age, you know, Ben Johns, in a sense, can be better than Michael Jordan in the sense that he has vastly way more technology than back then. I'm talking about with shoes, health, right? Like information, right? And because of that, he consumes more. That means he can advance more, right? That's what Ben Johns does, and I like that. And so that's what I look at, and I'm like, oh, let me do that, right? And I like that. That's actually who I naturally am, though I'm doing the same thing. He picks up from everybody else that are not even the number one and studies. He's like, oh, I like that. I want to implement that in my game. I'm doing the same thing. I'm doing the same thing. Be the best, study the best. That's what that is. That's such a huge thing, right? And I just watch him. And I watch him intuitively. Like, I'm studying him like it's game, like it's the Super Bowl, like, you know what I mean? And I'm playing in the Super Bowl, and I'm playing against him. But here's the cool thing, though. You gotta understand. Remember, like I said in the beginning, number one, I'm doing this with excitement. I actually am having fun watching him. So it doesn't feel like work, because it's not work. It doesn't feel like a strain or a hustle. I don't gotta hustle. Things just flow to you. Let things flow to you, right? And that's how you become a pro in 5 months. That's number 4 on the list, right? You gotta do that. Number 5, and I believe this is the most important thing, and I believe this is why I was able to progress in 5 months very quickly, right? The number 5th, I would say, is the most important thing. You gotta be authentically yourself, bruv. I know it sounds like, oh, yeah, nah, bro, you're not understanding. Or broette, you know what I mean? Like, it's not all these other things other people are talking about. Oh, how to be a pro or become a billionaire. You gotta know, bro. The billions, right? The professional status, you executing at the highest level is exactly that. You, which is authentically you, executing you, which puts you to the highest level. It's not the other way around, right? Forget everything you guys really understand about social media. LeBron James have that many followers. Messi has that many followers. Ronaldo has that many followers because it's Ronaldo. If you understand what I'm saying, it's them why they have that, not because they're on social media and because the algorithm, the way no, bro. It's the only reason why they have it because it's him. Period. Right? It's being authentically you, and I promise you, the billions started coming, all the abundance, the gifts, the showering with love, and people taking care of you. They feed you and take you out, and they want to support you, and they want to bring stuff to you by being authentically yourself. That is how you become a pro. I mean, to put it plain and simply, why do you think AI was one of the greatest basketball players on the planet? Bro, he was the original AI. You know what I mean? This is original AI. And why Reebok wanted to sign him for a lifetime deal. Because it's him. He's him. And you're him. You're her. Everybody's them. Whoever they would like to be authentically that. You gotta do that. Because that's what helped me progress very fast. Because I was like, I started picking up my own style very quickly. Like, I would say month 3, after starting getting beat by the grandmas. That's what really started taking me off. Was it's my own play style, right? It was authentically me, and coupled with learning Ben Johns, studying the best, right? With take what's the good, right? The perfect practice, having fun. Bro, you want to talk about the best investment on the planet, right? The exponential ROI. Like, it was like this, and it just keeps going up. That was my investment, right? Because of those things, right? And like I said, being authentically me, really, it just clicked. Because, like I said, I was having fun. That means the progression, there wasn't any friction. There wasn't anything stopping me. Everything was flowing. Do you understand what I mean? And that's why being authentically you, and I know I'm chatting a bunch about this part, but it's such a good part because, bro, you gotta be authentically you for people to even take notice of you. What are you gonna be, a hallmark trademark character in a game? So you're a basic character. You're a basic bum character. It's what you want to be, right? Nah, bro, you gotta be authentically. You gotta put that sauce. You know, put the sauce in it. You know what I mean? And I promise you, everything comes to you. Like, and that's how you become a pro very fast, coupled with those things. You know. For anybody else, you know, who stayed and would like to support, I actually created a PDF that goes in more detail, more depth of how to become a pro. And you can check the link in the description. I'll send the link there that you guys can download it. It's actually for free. You guys can download it. And if you would like to support me actually making it to my US opening, because this is all me going with me, you know, you guys can donate what you feel like this PDF is worth to you, and I'll use that money, you know, to go to the US opening properly. You know, just to let you know, pickleball is not up there. It's not the NBA. You know what I mean? It's not even cricket. It's not even at the level of cricket. This is not there. Right? I mean, there's not big backers and stuff like that. I gotta handle all of that. You want to donate, all of that will be handling not just simply flights and travels, bro. The things you got to do in pickleball, like buying new tape, and you actually might have to get a new paddle, right? You got to get the shoes, and then the clothes, and then the sunscreen too. God, we play outside all day long. You're like, I never was this dog before I played, you know. And the level of other practices and things I need to go do, and I need to do meal preps and all that. So all that goes in, and more than you know, that's I'm just talking right now. Like, that's where that would be going. You know, if you guys like to donate, you want to support, you like to see that dream, support. Like I said, the PDF is free, and see you later.